There was a script that was being written, so to speak. I mean, not a like actual written script, but there was a sort of script that night that was being played out between me, Shocker, and a third party. Shocker knows who was back there. I know who was back there. And the guy that was back there, he knows who he is, obviously. So what happened was, on that night, a month ago, and I have not spoken to this other guy since then. It has been August 25th was, I swear on everything, it's the last time I've spoken to this guy. At the time, there was shit going on with Shock, me and Shock. Shock put out that short where, the infamous short where he's like, I reported you, clown. Y'all know the one. You've probably seen it. When I heard about this, I was confused. I don't get it. Why is the guy saying he reported me? And what the fuck? In my mind, I was like, does Shock not know that there are things I could say about him that would bury him if I go live? Part of me was like, the night before on Saturday, that would have been August 24th. I thought about going live Saturday, August 24th and going after Shock. I thought about it because I was like, this is bullshit. Because I got some stuff I could say about Shock. That night on Saturday, August 24th, I had reached out to this third-party guy. And I said, hey, man, are you around? I'm really pissed off right now. I want to get your thoughts on this. On that night, the third-party guy didn't get back to me. And that's one night, so it's like, okay. But the week prior, this third-party guy had been giving me the runaround, and I was getting pissed off. I just want to get this all out in the open. So I'm getting pissed off at this other guy. And I'm like, why is this guy not getting back to me? And then that Saturday, I sent a pretty, what you would call, scathing email to this third-party guy. A pretty scathing email. Like, you know what, dude, I'm done with you. You better not be involved with Shock and some of this shit, because if you are, I'm going to get you too. Kind of a threatening type of email. And I'm like, years of this, I'm done. Hope it was worth it type of thing. I was in a very bad mood that night, so I sent this scathing email. The next day, that Sunday, this third party emails me, says, let's go backstage and talk. I got some things I want to say. That day, me and this third party guy talked backstage. And one of the things we talked about was Shock. And what the fuck is Shock up to? Why is Shock doing this shit? And I said to the third-party guy, I said, look, I've been trying to reach out. Shock's not answering my email. I don't know if he blocked me. I don't get it. He's not responding. I later found out Shock blocked my email. So he was not getting my emails. Because I was going to try to talk to Shock and be like, what the fuck are you doing? So I tell the third-party guy, why don't you hit up Shock and see if he will respond to you? And it was kind of late that night. And because we finally go backstage. The third-party guy says, all right, I'll try. I'll hit him up. So he emails Shock to see if Shock would come backstage. This was like a script. This was like a work. Okay? So I says to this guy, we both agree, you find out, you talk to Shock first. Because if I'm back there, it won't go well because I'm heated up. Why don't you hit him up, see if he responds to you? You talk to him first. Third party says he'll give it a shot. So the third party hits up Shock. Shock gets back to this guy. And him and the third, Shock and this guy go backstage and talk. With the idea that I will come backstage at some point to find out what's going on with Shock. But what Shock is not aware of, and what nobody else would be aware of, because I just want to get this dumb shit out of my system. Me and the other guy were in on it that night against Shock. The whole idea was to get Shock backstage so we could find out what the fuck's going on. So me and the other guy says to me, we got to make it look good if you come back there. I need to go off on you to make... It was basically a plan. Because Shock needs to think me and you have a problem with each other. I agreed with him. Yeah, he needs to think that me and you have a problem. Now, I'm okay with that. But here's the part I wasn't okay with. I go backstage and they're both back there. And there's something called going off script, going over your head, going, overboard. Shock will know what I'm talking about. When we go back there, the whole idea was, well, Shock needs to think me and you are having a problem, so he will give us his... I was just trying to figure out what Shock was trying to do. When we go back there, this other guy, this third party, decides he's going to go off script in front of Shock to make himself look good. So what I'm saying is, me and the other guy, we already know it's a script. We know it's planned. And we're supposed to make it look like we have a problem. But when we were back there, this dude goes way over the top in front of Shock, like, hey, yeah, man, yeah, because I'm really the only one around here that's really about it, and I'll cross state lines. Starts talking shit like that. I have to sit back there and go, wait a minute, I can't say anything because this is a script. So I had to sit there and listen to this in front of Shock. I'm kind of handicapped because we're supposed to be acting, working. So he had me in a helpless situation. So now Shock's sitting here hearing this. Shock's thinking this third party's some bad motherfucker. Like, oh, this dude must be really bad. He's saying this to the clown back here. What Shock was not privy to was this was a script. So I had to sit there and kind of act like it's no big deal. I'm like, yeah, whatever, come down here then. I had to play it off. But deep down, I was pissed. Because what he was doing is he was trying to make himself look good in front of Shock. He was trying to make Shock think he's a real bad dude, that he'll actually go track people down and come across state lines and do all this stuff, and nobody really will mess with him. To me, he went over the top. He went too far. Because it was a work, it was an act. That's exactly, Shock, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That was all an act, but he tried to make it look like a legit thing in front of you because he figured by looking like a badass in front of you, it would give him some kind of cred. Like, because Shock could say, well, I was backstage and that dude ain't playing around. That dude really would come and he ain't going to do nothing. You understand me? And this is a guy I've been cool with. I don't care how bad a dude thinks he is. I don't care who you are. You can think you're the baddest cat walking. You can train with fighters and you can have a background. You can be a guy that you've been around. You've done this, you've done that. That's all fine and good. But you're not going to make it. You're not going to get one over on me. You're not going to be in a backstage and try to make me look a certain way when you know it's a script. All that state line talk was bull fucking shit. Bull fucking shit. I know it and he knows it. I don't know if Shock fell for it or not. Maybe Shock believed it. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, and I've said this once, I'll say it twice, I'll say it a third time, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10. There ain't nobody, hook or by crook, that's ever come through my channel. Whether they've been cool, whether they come on the panel, whether they've been in the chat, whether they've donated, whether they've been in a Mecca, whether they've won the Mecca. Nobody I'm sweating. I don't care who you are, what race you are, how big you are, what you say you're going to do, what you claim you're going to do, what you claim you've done, what you're doing right now. I don't sweat any last one of you. Bottom fucking line. And I definitely don't need no dude in a backstage trying to make me look bad in front of another guy because he forgot the script. Because I have my opinion, Shock probably thinks this guy's some bad dude now. I was back there last month and I'm going to tell you, he stood up to the clown. He didn't stand up to the clown. That was a work. It was all a work. And I got one guy, I got Jacksonville Zoe that can prove this whole thing. Zoe's at the game right now. He can back this up. He can back my story up. And I don't hate that guy. I don't hate that guy I'm talking about. But I didn't like what he did a month ago. I haven't spoken to him in a month. Since August 25th. And have you seen him type? You haven't seen him type on the channel, have you either? Have you seen him show up at all in the last month? Not once. And the sad thing is, that dude, for years, I thought he was the realest cat around here. Now I know he's not. Now I know he's not. But that dude was a big donator to me. He donated a lot of money to me, and I will forever respect that. But don't ever go in a backstage and go over my head in front of another guy trying to build yourself up in front of that guy, making that guy think you're really about it when it was a work. I was handicapped. In that moment, I could, if I get crazy, start snapping out, what good is that dude? Then Shock's going to be like, what is this? He's going to figure out it's a joke. Anyway, I'm not happy about it. And I haven't spoken to that guy in a fucking month. But I don't hate that guy, but I'm disappointed in his behavior. Because all that talk backstage when it was a work, you got guys that have been punking you for years around. This dude told me he ain't worried about all that because it's no big deal. I ain't worried about all them guys. You're not worried about them? What do you mean you're not worried about them? You're not worried about another guy using your face, your picture, your image on screen, calling you a fake, bashing you for months? I ain't worried about it. I'm not worried about all that. Well, if you're not worried about it, you're not a monster, are ya? Because a monster would be worried about it. A monster would bury a fucking guy. For real. They wouldn't be going around going, I ain't worried about that guy, I ain't worried about that guy. I don't care. Then you're not a monster. I'm the monster then. Because I'm the only one on the balls to come on here for years and have to put this shit out there to everybody. So that's all I've got to say. I'm out.